Are you plain bored of woodworking? Get excited again with Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit. Fisheye's Sandpaper Kit comes with everything you see here. Just pick your paper, spread the glue, and shake on the sand. Voila! Beautiful handcrafted sandpaper. And if you act now, we'll include candy sprinkles absolutely free. What better way to say I love you than with a gift of sandpaper? Fisheye's Make Your Own Sandpaper Kit is just $19.99 wherever crappy gifts are sold.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 76th episode of the Hour Before TNL. It's October the 12th, 2023. And as usual, we ask that there's no politics, religion, or racism. And we expect kindness and respect from everybody on the panel and in the chat. Without further ado, here is my long-suffering co-host, Mr. Jim Boshart.
Hello, Gary.
How's it going?
Pretty well. A lot better this week, I'll tell you.
What happened this week?
Well, last week I wasn't feeling so well. I wasn't on. Dawn filled in for me.
There you go.
You do remember your show, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I only saw half of it.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. We have a special guest today.
Very special, very impressive.
Yes, a world record holder.
I don't know any, but I will today.
You will today. Ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's all gentlemen. Is there any ladies?
Not yet.
Okay, gentlemen, please welcome Doug the Great. There he is.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh, no sound effects today. Sleeping
Hey,
at the wheel.
Doug Hunt. Doug and I go back a long way. We first set the record when in 20.
Well, yeah, actually we did it in a silo back in 98, I believe, and then outside at the opening of a tourism center in Brantford, 21 years, I think it was 2002.
2002. So
Yeah.
we've been at this for 21 years.
You bet. Yeah. Long
yeah.
time.
Now, somebody has since broken that record. The stilts were 50 feet 9 inches. I remember. Yeah,
no. The original record that I was trying to break was a guy by the name of Steady Eddie Wolf, and he walked on stilts. He was able to master stilts, I believe, 40 feet. 10 inches, and then his son beat it a few months after, prior to us breaking it in 2002. And then just recently, last year, another son of the same family broke my record, and He went up quite a bit higher at 40. We're 54 feet 1 inch. Now, the whole idea, people always wonder about the record and everything. How do you break a record, master stilts? It was set up by Ringland Brothers many years ago. To master stilts, you have to get so many steps unassisted without touching safety guidelines. And so back when we did it, Gary, you might remember we had to get at least 25 forward steps. So it's not a distance. It's to do with balance and mastering the stilts and getting some forward steps out of these long poles. And outside, we did 29 forward steps. And that record held for years until last year. And so the whole idea is, and I think more importantly than that, why we did it, there was a couple of reasons. One was I damaged my knee. I've been a stilt walker for many years, even prior to that, as an entertainer. So in this area where I'm from Brantford, that's where I got the name Doug the Great. I'm a magician, juggler, and stilt walker. Yeah. And but, however, my career actually really is a director of fundraising and marketing and volunteer services for an organization called Participation Support Services. And we're an organization that supports adults who are physically challenged and complex needs and seniors. And I could take the whole program talking about that. But working with, they're more like my family, and working with them, they are in a situation with the government, and people may realize, even though there's a subsidy and under the Ontario long-term care and everything, as far as quality of life, it's up to folks like myself to try and raise funds so they can go to baseball games and have a better wheelchair and things. So it's not enough just to have things to exist. It's we take a lot for granted. So my job is not to do that. So one of the ways of doing that, we'll talk later on, Gary, some of the fundraising things we do at Participation Support Services. In order to get back on stilts, it's a long story, but anyways, because I hurt my knee, the surgeon said, no more stilt walking for you. And that was the beginning of going after a Guinness World Record. And 21 years ago. And I still have, I could show you, I still have a knee brace today that's been donated for life by OSER. I have no ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, in my right knee, and a few other problems. The other problem is I'm old now. That's a challenge.
We're both 21 years older than when you set the record.
Yeah, people thought we were old back then, being the oldest still walker. Now I'm much older.
Quick question, Doug. Speaking about family, do you have a brother named Mike?
No, we disowned him. Yeah, we don't talk about him that much.
You know, I had to get that one in.
Yeah, Mike the Great. So anyway, I sort of lost touch here. So we were talking about steps. So the other thing is that people should know is we're going to try and take the record back, and it's a fundraiser. So that's what I was trying to get after with where I work and what we do and what we did 21 years ago. And we were able to bring thousands of dollars. I always tell people it's a walk for people that can't walk. And the other thing is it's been quite a challenge for Gary and I and the rest of our team. But we know it's only a couple of months of challenge. And we're doing it for people to live a challenge every day of their life. And so it's easy to take that for granted. And so it hasn't been that hard, really, when you think of it that way. For what we do and the commitment we make. It does bring a lot of awareness to our organization, and it certainly brings some excitement and some funds to help people that have a life that a lot of us really don't realize the hardship. But what I learned from them is attitude and don't give up, right? So that's the idea. So I want people to realize it's a fundraiser. No one's making money from it. Guinness gets involved because we want to make sure it's a world mark and it's adjudicated and verification. That's where we'll get into why a drone this time is so important to prove to Guinness that we are taking those steps and we are doing it unassisted. And so Guinness is in London, England. And we could bring someone from Guinness to be here, but that would take thousands of dollars from the money that we've raised in the first place for our residents. So the other way you can do it is we have our Brantford mayor, city mayor, and I have another professional stilt walker to count the steps. But I'm telling you, part of our success and really important to it is Gary and his drone to make sure that we have a video results proof, I should say, to take back to Guinness, and all that with some other photographers will do that. So it was a long, stretched out talk, but I think people need to know why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and why drone is that's why I'm on here to tell you that I'm thankful to Gary to help cover this, so we can prove without a doubt that even though I'm an old guy, that we can do it even at 67 years of age and get 10 steps in. Now, the other thing really quickly, when we did it, Gary and I, we accomplished this with the rest of our team. We had to do at least 25 steps. We did 29. Today, believe it or not, and this is Guinness, the young guy that beat my record, he's only 22, I think, only had to do 10 steps, and he did 10 exactly. Why Guinness World Records made it easier, I have no idea. The 25 was something Ringling Brothers came up with many years ago. They said 25 takes 25 to get around the center ring with their stilt walkers. So they said that's what mastered your stilts. So we only have to do 10. And I feel it's only because I remember stumbling in the 10 all the time many years ago. I'm not trying to, I will do 25 because I'm sort of stuck on with what Ringling said to master stilts. So our goal is not just to break the record for Guinness, but to prove that we can still master the. There you go, the 25 steps.
Now these were my daughter's stilts from July 1st, 2005, when we set the record for the most people on stilts at one time. Now these are the old coffee can stilts, signed and witnessed by Doug.
Oh, really?
That way.
I got to put on my glasses.
And then on the other side, you can just barely see it.
Walter Gretzky?
It's to Stevie. Best wishes, W. Gretzky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walter signed it.
Now, Walter was a big supporter of ours, Gary?
Yeah.
We used to get Walter to get broken hockey sticks and make them into. We made them into stilts, because in Canada we thought, if you're not going to break a record, let's do it on hockey sticks.
Yeah.
Well, question, Doug.
Yeah.
Now these stilts, I'm still trying to get a visual of 55 feet stilts. Are these braced, strapped to your legs, or are they traditional poles where you've got them under your arms and you're walking with them like that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, because I could go on and on about that. Those stilts you're talking about are traditional hold-on stilts, we call them.
Yeah.
The stilts that we use, and I use as an entertainer, are entertainer stilts that are strapped on below your knee.
So just to the calf area.
Yeah, if you fall off the hold-on stilts, when the traditional ones that get you a couple of feet up in the air, you can only land back on your feet. You can jump off. The ones I use as an entertainer that get me up 10 feet tall, if I fall, I fall. There's no jumping off. But then I have the freedom of my arms to juggle and do a whole bunch of other things.
Okay, well, good luck with that then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna show a video here, Doug, and you can tell everybody what this is all about, really. There's the Brant aerial sticker right up next to the boots.
Yeah, that upper portion is made by Gary Ensmager, who makes stilts for Disney. So I went all the way down to Orlando and have him help me with the upper aluminum portion.
Holy jeez.
So that gives you an idea of the size we're looking at here.
Yeah. They're actually 4 sailboat masts made of carbon fiber.
I don't know any drones that go that high.
Now here we are loading them onto a truck. We had to break them in half. And then this is a time lapse of us getting four sections.
Yeah, we had to move them for where they were on display from the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center, our sports complex, where they were on display, to a silo for practice. So Ken's towing. I wanted to be careful with them, so we got a proper professional company donating their time, strapping them in on the truck. So they're actual sailboat masts butted together. They're usually not made of carbon fiber. The carbon fiber came from Montreal 21 years ago. They're 21-year-old stilts.
So everybody wants to know, how heavy are they?
They're about, on a certificate, they're about 60-something pounds each.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And this is the silo that we're going to be practicing in.
Oh, I didn't realize you got that footage there, Gary.
Yeah.
That silo is on a place we call Brentwood Farms, where my organization holds a haunted hayride, a haunted barn every year. This is our 30th year. We're doing it again this year. And so the farmer there, Tom Pate, we asked him many years ago if we could borrow his silo to put our stilts in and practice. He said, yeah, you got to know he's Farmer Tom. He says, yeah, but bring it back when you're done. I said, we will. We actually went in that silo and we put a concrete floor 21 years ago. And so that was handy, and put a scaffolding back then. Back then, we just put in scaffolding, and I climbed with my coach and another guy, and we walked on stilts. Today, 2 days ago, I had to take working in heights course. We had to get the scaffolding engineered and approved by engineers. I had to show them insurance. It goes on and on. It's not as easy as it was back then getting clearance. And we'll talk about that in other ways too, right, Gary?
Yeah.
What you have to go through. People think, oh, you just get on the stilts and walk. I'm telling you, we've spent like months on preparation and trying, and then we're still last minute details that we have to work on.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, the legalities of safety and everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now this is happening concurrent with the 10th anniversary celebration at the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. How many people do we expect are going to show up?
I just read one of their minutes. They're expecting over 3,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 10th anniversary. It's not the 10th anniversary of the facility. It's been there a long time, but the 10 years ago, they did a rebuild, put new pool, another pool in, more arenas, a gymnasium, a fitness center. And actually 10 years ago, I was there performing on stilts as a hockey player with some friends, and Wayne Gretzky actually showed up to cut the ribbon.
Wayne, that's
seems like yesterday.
That's Brent's older brother, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I heard that name somewhere before.
Brent's a police officer.
Yeah.
Brent was, when I had a break in here, Brent was the officer who responded to the break-in.
Oh, really?
And I didn't recognize him right away. And he went and he did the whole inspection thing. And he says, "Here, I'll give you my card." And I went, "Brant Gretzky?" I said, "Didn't you play for the Tampa Bay Lightning?" He said, "You're probably the only person who knows." But it's Brantford is the connection with the Gretzkys. The sports center is on Walter Gretzky Way, and to get there, you have to go up Wayne Gretzky Parkway. So, but with 3,000 people coming at an advertised event, I had to get a special flight operations certificate from Transport Canada with 3 pages of conditions and all kinds of restrictions and stuff like that, which we're happy to comply with, because basically they asked for the application, a risk assessment, the capability of the equipment, the capability of the pilot, and it came out and was, and the
question mark there.
What's the question?
The ability of the pilot.
Yeah.
What's that?
The ability of the pilot.
Oh.
You have to be a certified advanced pilot in order to apply.
Yeah.
And I had to get a formal invitation from Doug Hunt to be able to participate. So it was quite a process. I was expecting it to take about a month, and I was applying right at the last minute. But I think in about 9 days, I was able to do the back and forth with Transport Canada and get the approval to fly there. So we're all legal. So yes, you have to have advanced age.
We're all in the same boat. I think, wasn't it important for them to know that it was a fundraiser, and perhaps it also was required for to give some information to Guinness.
And
their requirements. So it wasn't like just for fun or for some visual stuff. There was a component that it was important for our success and then support of the people we were supporting. Maybe would that be part of the?
I would think that the charitable nature of the thing was a big factor. I also told them that I wasn't receiving any compensation or in-kind contribution. So it was, it was all on the up and up. Now we also had the
wrong Guinness there, John.
We also had a comedy show as a fundraiser.
I didn't get an invite.
I didn't. I thought you were under house arrest and you couldn't leave.
We could only have 2 comedians. We couldn't have more than 3 because there wouldn't have been enough time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you were the 3rd one out.
That didn't hurt at all. Wow.
That's from my brother Mike saying that.
Okay, that's allowed then.
Yeah. Out of the mouth.
Yeah, so that was another fundraiser. It was called On the Record. And actually, one of the team members is my niece, and she works a lot as volunteer for our hospital in Brantford. Her mom had passed away from cancer a few years back, and she's devoted part of her life raising funds for the hospital. And I asked her if she would get involved with our team, and of course she would help her uncle out. And so she's done a wonderful job bringing attention online social media and doing that comedy show. And yeah, so she has been and she has like a crew, I would call it, of well-known ones. Used to be a counselor of well-known people in Brantford, working with her to make sure that we make this worthwhile for our residents, that we get the word out and we raise funds and make sure everybody knows about it.
Yeah. And I'm looking here, Brant. We've got quite a team. Dave Levac, who used to be the Speaker of the House, is sort of the team leader.
Yeah, he's our team leader.
And Randy and Graham and Todd, and there's just a whole raft of people that rally behind Doug in these fundraising efforts.
They have to be in the rafters.
Yeah,
yeah,
get pretty high.
Rafters. A lot of these people were involved 21 or more than 21 years ago. A lot of them are good friends of both Gary and I, because the city's not that big. A few of them are fellow entertainers, and some of them you have to surround yourself with experts. So one guy's an engineer, another guy, as Gary knows, who designed our logo, is Al Newhouse, a graphic artist.
Yep.
Then there's Todd Pipe, who is an expert. We're working in heights. He's worked at the Rogers Center up high. Right now he's employed in Brantford for the city. He works in the theater, so he understands equipment and safety. So he'll drive our boom truck, the straight stick, to lift us up. So you have to find a team that has all different skills to bring it together, so everybody has an ability. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a couple others. So everybody seems to have their own skill set that we needed to. So a lot of people think, "Oh, Doug, you're doing a good." It's not just me. There's a whole team of us. That's why we call it the Stilt Team.
Yeah, and Graham's a broadcast guy. He does work for CHTV.
Yeah, he's another guy that's he's going to be working with Guinness directly on our behalf to send your video from the drone and some of his own. The guy's actually one of the best magicians in Southern Ontario too, just as a side note. But that's how I got to know Graham. He's actually known as Gray Mazing. Yeah. So, and he's really good at his magic. But he's
a level 7 wizard.
That's right. That's what I'll tell you. I'm only a level 2, I think. So he has a lot of skills. Another guy, Jason Soulier, is also a videographer. He worked with our own Rogers TV for years now. He's working for Hamilton TV. Yeah. So we're probably missing a few important people, but there's a few of them that we have on our team that'll be there on the day, helping in lots of ways. Another interesting thing that we came up with really quickly is Walter, when he was alive, would sign autographs, and he'd be the last one out of the arena. We used to have a big hockey tournament, which we still do, but he was the special guest there, and all kids wanted his autograph, and he'd be the last one. And he used to sign with a blue pigment Sharpie. And he told me once the reason blue is people like Mickey Mantle and some of the old great Gordie Howe, they used to sign with a black Sharpie or a black ink pen or something, and black ink or black pigment will fade away in time. Blue lasts a whole lot longer. So his big deal was signing with a blue Sharpie, and because of that, the Sharpie people, the main company of Sharpie, got wind of that, and donated boxes and boxes of Sharpies with his son's 99 sweater logo on the Sharpie. So he'd sign with his pen and give it away. We couldn't get Sharpie to donate that or help us. I wanted to do that in honor of Walter. So we have our own pen with our logo on it. And we have a company called Masilli, an Italian company, makes lids for jars and things from all over, pop balls from all over the world. They donated the 500 pens, which cost around $1,000, and then they donated $1,000 on top of that to the team. And so if you show up on the day on the 21st, you'll have an opportunity to sign our stilts with that special souvenir blue pigment pen, and you keep it as a souvenir, and you pay $5 or more. So that was the idea. So everybody have an opportunity to put their name on these stilts. That'll be a world record stilts hanging back up at the University Center.
Yeah. So it's and I think when I do finally release a video, I'll have the Masilli signing and the mayor and and Dave. I've got all that
Yeah.
stuff on my
Yeah,
pocket,
we've
too.
had a lot of promotion and support from our mayor and the city and some councilors and some companies as well.
Yeah. Now, will Todd Pipe be able to help us out at all with lighting inside that silo?
Yeah, I've got lights in there now.
Okay.
I've got
Because
it's
when we
pretty-
moved the stilts into the silo, it was so dark in there I couldn't get any pictures. And
No, when they were putting the scaffolding, I've got a bunch of floodlights in there, some lights. So it's well lit now.
yeah, and we'll be flying inside the silo as well. So
55-foot stilts, you don't have to worry about a flood.
No, no, it's yeah. You look in the side, you look at the scaffolding. It's breathtaking. To look up it looks higher than the stilts. I don't understand, but anyways, it's just
It doesn't sound that far, but once you're up there, I'm sure it's terrifying.
it's terrifying looking up there. Yeah, I tell people, Jim, I tell people I can do it with my eyes closed when I do. Well, actually, I do it with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
Doug's afraid of heights.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see the ground coming up that close either. Wow.
Yeah, that's another record. A stilt walker afraid of heights. What can I say?
Yeah. Now imagine a utility pole and standing on the top of a utility pole and then going 15 feet higher than that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Like a utility pole is 40 feet.
Right.
And we're going to 55. And what did you say what the stilts weigh?
Yeah, they'll probably weigh more than they'll probably be up over 70 pounds each. We've been practicing with my regular stilts that get me about 10 feet tall with 110 pounds inside each of them. We use kettle weights and bar weights, and we Velcro them in there. And 2 to 3 days a week, I'm in the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. They give us their gym to work out in, and I've been doing what the idea of that is. My trainer, the guy that helped me with my knee brace originally, is a physio. Tom Rollins, that was another guy that's an important part of the team. He felt he didn't want me to be overwhelmed with weight when we were practicing or doing this record. So we overcompensated. And so he gets me in doing weight training 3 mornings, and I've been doing some aerobics. And we're mostly worried, not to make me stronger, but because of my age, we're worried about me hurting myself. And so
if I put 70 pounds on each leg and tried to take a step, I'd dislocate my hip.
Well, you're probably, but we've been working at it slowly, gradually over months.
Jimmy doesn't do anything slow.
Oh, no, Jimmy. So, there's a lot of behind the scenes that we've done to, it's not like there's a few people have challenged my record and they feel like they beat it, and they never done it before. They just get on the stilts and they beat it. But a lot of them have overhead lines and they break the rules and everything. So we try to do it right and follow the rules as they're dictated. And there's a technique. And with a lot of people watching, you got to realize 50 feet, 55 feet of pull under your foot, it's impossible to actually pick it up and swing it forward. It's like picking up a table at the edge, the lever arm effect, as opposed to getting under the table and pushing up. So it's like those tilts are like lifting the table at the edge. So we had to come up in months in the silo. We came up with we were failing prior to getting in the silo with aluminum. We weren't going anywhere. We got the proper tools, the carbon fiber sailboat mast, and in the silo we were having trouble. And then we came up with between 4 or 5 of us, we came up with a specific technique. So it's a nuance. It's not physical. It's the way we get the stilts to go forward. It took a lot of work, and it's a lot of rhythm. And hopefully I remember that from 21 years ago when I get back.
Ancient Chinese secret, I bet.
Yeah, it's a secret. And they actually do unassisted. You could be there and you'll see not very far, but you'll see the bottom toe, I call the stilts, go forward. You got to have one foot go in front of the other, and without touching my guidelines on a balance. And we showed Guinness many years ago, and they say, yeah, you're not touching anything, and the feet are going. It doesn't look pretty, but it happens.
That's the whole point of it, is just to make it go, right?
Yeah, just get a forward motion and go with it. Yeah. And that's what. So it's not my age or anything else, not even strength. It's technique.
Yeah,
that we developed.
Now with the help of the team, like I can fly a drone. There's no problem that way. But I think Graham and Jason are working on a way that I'll be able to broadcast live from the drone to the big screens at the Gretzky Center. So we'll see if
I didn't
that
know
works
that.
out. Yeah, yeah. So if we can
I better not swear or anything.
well, no, there's no sound on the drone.
Oh, okay, good.
There's no microphone. So.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to get, the Guinness World Book of Record books, and it's very interesting reading and doing this and that. And my buddy and I said, we should try to break a record of something. And I said, how about kite flying? It's pretty non-risky. We'll just wait for a weekend where it's really windy, and we'll just sit in the lawn chair for, 48 hours. We didn't do it, but it was a thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of Guinness. You'll notice if you go through that book, a lot of it is some of it's weird, but a lot of it seems incredible and crazy. That's why it's a record, because it's that's
I think it's
that's
very
why
cool.
you got to go so high on stilts. People think, a record must be like 20 feet.
And one of the things we're going to try and do is capture some kind of an epic photo of you on the stilts from above, looking down at the crowd, so that it's something worthy of Guinness publishing it in the book.
Yeah, the Guinness, that's a good point, Gary, because Guinness does put a book out every year, and all the records that broke, they would never be able to put them all in the book. I'm on their website, and I'm in their book, a picture of me in their 20, if you have a Guinness book at home, it's the 2012 Guinness Book of Records, page 110. There's a picture of me, a good one taken by the expositor on a scissor lift looking down. They didn't have drones back then. Yeah. But it was a good picture, and that got in the book. And then I've never been in again. So a lot of people don't get in the book, or they eventually do after a couple of years. But if you can see, Guinness is trying to sell books. Yeah. So if you can give them, like Gary was saying, you get a good picture, we're probably have a good opportunity to get in the book because of the.
Now, you were also published in Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah, 3 times I've been in Ripley's. I've got one. The guy, the artist was so impressed. He sent me an autographed cartoon of me.
Oh, cool.
A few years back I've got. Yeah, they were impressed with it. So I've been in 3 times. I got a couple back here. And I'm also in a bunch of other books, a German book, Alternative Records. And there's a couple of different books I'm in for the feet.
There was one day I didn't swear, and actually they got called. Ripley's did.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think I found that.
Yeah. And Warren is asking what I'm flying. I'm going to be flying the day of the event. I have to fly my Air 2S. It's registered with Transport Canada and the FAA, and it's certified for flying near people. So I'm able to get up close and personal. And then for the silo flights, I'll fly the Air 2S and probably the Exo Mini Pro that I have as well. Both of those flights that are indoors will be what do you call it when you don't have GPS? Come on, somebody tell me in the chat. Oh God.
Seat of your pants?
Yeah, seat of your pants. Oh, it's a mode that they used to have.
Addy
mode, right. Starts with A. Thank you, John, and Mike,
Chris,
and Nate,
and Bob,
Floyd,
Richard, Tom.
Yeah. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I haven't gone through the participants in the chat. We've got
a lot.
We've got quite an active chat. There's 24 people watching and only 14 likes. My goodness.
And you were going to do a sticker draw this week, Gary?
Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me go to the private chat here. And I'm going to put in a number between 1 and 50. And we'll
3.1415926535846.
So put your best guess between 1 and 50 in the chat, and we'll Jim will keep an eye out for it. And 69 is not between.
Ooh, just missed it.
Oh, 99 isn't between 1 and 50. 44, no, that's not it. So, yeah.
There's the 3.1415926.
Yeah. No.
Way to go,
No.
Doc. You didn't let me down.
And what I'm throwing in as well is I'm throwing in a fridge magnet for the world record stilt walking.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah. So you get your number in and make sure that it's the right number.
Oh, man, I can't win.
Because I got my stickers and I've got some other stickers over here, and I've got a box of stickers here.
Magenta's close.
I got stickers in my
Stickers on the floor.
I got stickers on the floor. Those are from Ireland, and that's from New York. And
pretty soon they're going to start going 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so I got a good variety here. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was if you're coming up to your Canadian recency requirement, I think you have to renew every 2 years. The Drone Pilot Association of Canada, the DPAC safety course, is now good for your recency requirement. So
I believe that's the first one.
Jim's droning. Good stuff. Way to go, Jim.
A Canadian stamp.
Yeah, I think I've got another one that I think I owe you. So we'll combine that, and you'll get your stilt walking fridge magnet with it too. If you've got a metal case, it'll stick on there. Yes, and of course it's rigged. We get to use a Canadian stamp.
We got a mental case here, all right.
So your Canadian stamp will have whales on it.
What'd you call me?
Anyway, yeah. So we're what else have I missed? Okay, we've got cranes coming. The cranes were a donation as well, weren't they?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of donations like cranes. That's I think they're like over.
That's for the safety wires.
Donation when you get 2 cranes and the staff. We've got a boom lift, like a straight stick from. I love the name of the company, Acme. That's great. I think they're from Burlington, Acme. I've met all these guys, and we've had to sit down and explain what we're doing and where the proceeds are, and they just love the idea of it being a charity, and it's a Guinness record, and they just captured their enthusiasm, imagination, and they want to be part of it. So we've got that, and the scaffolding, that's like a $6,000 donation of manpower, and they threw in the scaffolding, and they just put it up in the silo. And that's how we make it a fundraiser. That's why you've got to do outside the box and do something like a Guinness World Record in support of people and bring some awareness. I mean, you can do walkathons and you can go to golf tournaments, which I do some of that kind of stuff. But
you also do an annual motorcycle ride.
Yeah, and you know why? I have a motorcycle. And my friend Brant, who's helping us with the stilts, he has a motorcycle, and Brant works for the Canadian Mental Health Association. So Brant and I have been buddies. He's an entertainer as well. I'm a stilt walker, magician. He's a sort of more of a clown and a balloon artist. And we've worked together over the years, and we both have motorbikes, and we go on trips with another guy that's on the team, Randy Papel. Yeah. Who's Band-Aid the Clown, has also been an entertainer, and he's a retired paramedic now. And so Brent and I talked about we should make this a joint fundraiser and have a motorcycle ride. And that's how that started many, many years ago. And Gary, you have a bike and you got involved, but I knew you before then, but you've been involved with that many years. And it's a fun fundraiser, and it gets Brent and I for our job to go for a bike ride. And so I think you've actually.
I flew the last one.
Yeah.
And you'll remember that memorable flight.
I do. That scared the bejesus. I've never seen that happen in my life.
I was doing an orbit around the presentations and hit a pole with my Air 2S, and it went to the ground and landed nice and flat, right? Nice flat landing in the parking lot.
And then a car ran over it. No.
And then a pickup truck ran over it. Yeah. And,
oh my gosh.
yeah,
I was so upset for you because here's Gary coming out to cover the event for us. And I look over and there goes, I don't know how many thousands of dollars that sucker cost. And boom.
Yeah. And so I swept up the bits and put them in a bag and sent them to DJI. I had 4 days left on my Care Refresh.
Oh, no.
So
crazy.
So they sent me a brand new one.
I was mistaken, Gary. It was Paul that did guess it before Jim.
Oh, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, Paul. I don't know. Paul, send me your email address. My email is in the about section of my about section of the YouTube page. And we'll make sure we get that stuff down to you.
Yeah, Gary and I talking about the motorcycle. I remember we had a big called a bike night in Paris, and I remember you bringing. When I first saw your drone, I was like, it was incredible. And there was like, I don't know how many, 200 bikes or more.
Oh yeah.
And you were able to get a good view of all the bikes coming in. And very interesting. And then I think you've actually have the drone follow you on a bike, haven't you?
Yep.
That to me, I can't comprehend how that happens, but
well, that's why we pay thousands and thousands of dollars for those things to do those things.
I can't understand how that. Just a question for all you guys. And when you're doing something like that, what about like if a bird's flying by?
Well, yeah. No, I've had a bird strike.
Have you?
I had a bird strike in Stony Creek. I was 250 feet up over the Stony Creek Monument, and I was doing an orbit of the top of the monument.
And the bird flew into you, probably.
Bird hit it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't crash. It just kind of wobbled a little bit, and there was a bunch of feathers in the air, and it was all good.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've had lots of close calls with birds. Now, the secret with birds, if anybody ever wants to know, is fly straight up. Go straight up. They can't fly straight up.
Oh.
That's how you escape a bird. They can fly straight down, but
they're always in a forward motion, I imagine.
Yeah. So if you go straight up, you're going to be safe.
Miss them,
Yeah. So
do you look for birds or something when you're flying around? Because I've seen like swarms of birds, flying around. I guess you have to.
Yeah, you don't want to fly into a swarm.
And do you ever, like, depending on the time of day or if you're in the country, would you pick up a lot? I'm sorry about these silly questions, but anyways.
Oh, good.
Would you pick up a bunch of bugs? I do on motorbikes.
Yeah. Bugs tend to stay closer to the ground, I think.
Oh, okay.
But and the propellers, when they hit bugs, tend to push them straight down, so you'll get a little bit of bug splatter on the top of the drone.
Yeah. I remember when I used to have a Phantom, I had blood on my propellers because they were white.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, no, it certainly is an interesting hobby, an interesting profession. I don't do it professionally. I only do it for charities and as sort of a gift to a neighbor. I watched their house being constructed and gave them a USB key with, the entire construction of the house so they could look back on it. It was a housewarming gift, so.
Well, the interesting thing, who else would have a drone helping a stilt walker break a Guinness World Record? Like that's a different, I don't think there's many people in the world that use their drone to cover something so I can get a verification and adjudication with Guinness. That's got to be
I don't know. I think it might be a first.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Dennis from Natural Rolling. He's first time in the chat. He does it for the chip. I'm just making him a moderator, so we know that he's been here.
Drone pilots usually don't have wacko friends like you, Doug, that do things like that. So
I was just the other comment I have to say with that, with your with all your drone club, your Zoom club, is it might be nice to after you're done and we break the record, share that at a future meeting.
Yeah. Well, I'll be publishing the whole thing. I'll be editing it and putting it together for YouTube, and you'll get a copy, and I'll make sure that Graham and Jason get copies of all the raw footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we can put it all together for Guinness. So
well, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So it's it's going to be quite an event. Now, what do we do in the case of weather? Is it rain or shine?
Oh, it's got to be, and that's why we're not taking any chances with everybody that's put into this. And I feel badly for the cranes and that, but they've had like a meeting to talk about what ifs and for safety.
Yeah.
And if the wind is bad or this happens or that. So we will have the record.
Yeah.
So it'll be a different kind of show at that point.
Yeah.
But that's why we put so much effort and time into getting into the silo. It would have been so much easier just to do it outside that one time.
Yeah.
But it's been 21 years, and I want to guarantee that we get this record. So the way you do that is you get more than one chance at it. And in a silo, we can climb that scaffolding many times a day and give it a go and get their people. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it does in a bit.
Yeah. Well,
it won't make or break us if we can't get up on stilts. It'll be too bad because we've advertised this event.
Yeah.
But safety first.
Well, and I had to specify to Transport Canada weather minima. Like, what is the maximum wind I'm going to fly in and those sorts of things. So
yeah,
it's not in Iowa. It's in Brantford, Ontario, Nacho.
Home of Wayne Gretzky.
Home of Wayne Gretzky. And
Walter used to say center of the universe. Home of Alexander Graham Bell at one point. James Hillier invented the micro telescope, right? Here in Brantford.
The
Micron. Johnson.
Yeah, the Micron microscope.
Right. Pauline Johnson wrote all those poems from nearby at Six Nations. Jay Silverheels, who appeared in The Lone Ranger.
Who was Tonto?
Tonto, from Six Nations, our neighbors.
Robbie Robertson.
Yeah, quite a few hockey players. So
why do you always end up down at Nick's Cafe? I don't know. The wind just kind of pushed me that way.
And, that's what we got to do. We got to open a cafe, call it Nick's, and have Robbie Robertson memorabilia. So yeah. Ray Kelly is mobile. He can't read the chat, so we'll acknowledge him there. And Chuck from Covaction just joined us. Lambo's here. Lambo and Meliorate with Nate. Now there's an interesting guy. He has a remote control lawnmower and and that net capture device for catching wildlife in distress. So yeah, and Ronnie from God Blessed America and Uncle Bill is here, and Warren and John and Paul, and holy cow, we got quite a crowd. So anyway, that was I think we've covered just about everything.
That's your list.
What you do other special events as well too, don't you, Doug?
Well, at right in the middle of my stilt walk, we have our thing called Ghost Encounters, the haunted hayride, haunted barn, right at where that silo was. That's why we're there at that. That's how I found the silo, because we've been doing a fundraiser there. We have golf tournament. We have normal things like that, but we've done a lot of crazy things. I used to do a thing called free fall golf balls. Before the drone time, we used to drop golf balls from a helicopter over an area. And the golf ball represented a number that could have been your golf ball. And if your golf ball fell close to a flag in this area, you'd win what that flag represented, like a Canadian Tire barbecue. We used to do a mud run at the Paris Fairgrounds near Brantford, where we made people run through a pit of mud. And it's silly. I'm not one for doing the same old.
Were they wearing bikinis?
Things, yeah. Okay. Mud wrestling.
The bikini.
We could do one of those again. Maybe I'll make it.
Yeah. So we that's my job, is to come up with ideas like that. And so not only because it helps get people, a big one that we do is wheelchair basketball. So we have a big tournament, and I have all the sports wheelchairs but we don't have physically challenged people playing the game. We have companies, service clubs, businesses of able-bodied ABs, we call them, like myself. We give them the wheelchairs and they play each other in wheelchairs, and we have a big tournament. And so I think it's a great fundraiser because it puts people in the chair that represents our people.
Yeah.
And so it gives you a different meaning about the game, but it's a lot of fun and it's really popular. We're just planning that now for February. And a lot of the fundraising I do in partnership. So the motorcycle is in partnership with the Canadian Mental Health Association. They have a hard time because of stigma with that name. So I like to partner and help them. And then the basketball was with Brantwood Center, which is a similar organization than ours. So we join with forces with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to do a little mini putt where we did a little mini putt in different businesses in their lobby, in their front door. They set up the mini putt, and then we'd have like groups come in and play all through the city at different putt locations.
Yeah. And now you've got costumes that you wear at a lot of these different events as well.
Then on the side, as an entertainer, I was just at an event at Waterford. They have a thing called an annual Pumpkin Fest.
Oh, you're at Pumpkin Fest, yeah.
Yeah. So I was dressed up as the Wizard of Oz, and I have a monkey puppet. It's hard to explain, but he's dressed up as a flying monkey. Yeah.
Puppets.
I just helped Jim out with that one. And so, I have about 60 different outfits, from toy soldier for Christmas. I have an Elvis Presley for car shows. I have a cowboy.
You got the Mountie for Canada Day. And
the Mountie, the cowboy for I was at a rodeo up in Simcoe, so I have a cowboy. I learned how to do trick roping with the cowboy on stilts.
You do clowns?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, clowns scare people. So,
really?
Yeah, a lot of my friends years ago were clowns, and now we found it's not a good thing, and it takes too long to put on. So we do characters.
Man, if I don't know that.
Characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Randy Papel, he's Band-Aid the clown.
Band-Aid the clown, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he scares people. No. Yeah, so I do a lot of my stilt characters have music. I learned a lot from going to Disney over the years. And so I try to build a theme. So if I can find the theme, I can usually match it. As at an air show, and I got an airline pilot, and we play Top Gun music and Frank Sinatra, "Won't You Fly With Me?" "Let's Fly Away." All these different songs. Those magnificent men in the flying machine. Be good for a drone show.
So you make mixtapes.
Yeah, mixtapes.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
so I have a lot of fun doing that. But on the side, I'm also a magician and juggler. I do a lot of stage shows and spend a lot of time in the art.
Yeah.
Like
so
you guys have a club. I have a club, a magician's club that I go to.
Yeah.
I'm the president of the one in Hamilton right now, Ring 49, the Magic Wand Club.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because we've got Old Farts with Drones. We've got the Drone Pilot Association of Canada. There's just like a raft of other groups that are on Facebook that you can post to, and so it's quite a community that we have, and we're really glad to be able to be part of your show, your world record attempt. I'm happy to be part of it, and I just wanted to take an hour and showcase the kind of stuff that you do and the stuff that you do with participation support services, which is still hard to wrap my head around because it was Participation House for how many years?
I was against the name change.
Yeah.
It's just that it was just one little place and it's evolved in a huge organization. I think that's why they changed the name.
I was up at the health center in Paris and getting some blood work done. And I dropped into Participation Support Services and talked to Sherry Kerr. And I said, "Is Doug around?" She goes, "Does he still work here?"
That's my executive director. Yeah.
Yeah. She says, "No, he's out doing some stilt stuff." So
yeah, that's how
stilt stuff.
So that's not a good thing if she says that.
So when are we getting together again? We're going to get together on the weekend.
I'm hoping if the stilts are ready, they're being that aluminum piece put on to make them world record height.
Yeah,
they're going to be delivered. Hopefully tomorrow. The scaffolding has got the okay. It's with the engineers, And so we have to put the stilts together and do some work before I can break the record. So hopefully in the weekend we can get out there, and I'll need your help.
Are the 50-foot stilts back together yet?
No, I mean the bottom part is at Catherwood's Welding. They're putting that aluminum portion that's about 4 feet 3 inches or something to get me up to 55 feet.
Okay.
So we need that, or we don't have a record height stilts, so that should be done.
But the other two sections, are they together yet?
Well, there's the upper portion.
Yeah.
Where I put my feet in.
Yeah.
And the lower portion that we're extending.
Okay.
And the lower portion stilts are over at the welding place. I was over there today talking to them. They were doing a good job.
Oh, okay. So this aluminum portion is going in the middle?
No, at the very bottom, like ballet slippers.
Bottom. Okay.
I'll slip them in, and they'll be adhered or somewhat.
Could you say like work boots, a little more manly?
No, they're my belt. I'm gonna be like twinkle toes on them. It'll be very delicate.
He'll be on point.
On point. Yeah, exactly. I call them ballet slippers. So once they're done, they're going to deliver them back to silo. So then we got to we have to get them in the silo. It's not an easy thing to do. And then we have to pull the upper portion up to the top and slip the bottom ones in and screw them together. It's a big job.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't want to bend them, that's for sure.
Well, they're pretty sturdy.
Yeah. No, it was a job moving them, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's a lot behind the scenes with this. People don't realize how much work and effort and how many people and how many donations.
And you don't realize how heavy they are until you try and stand them up.
Yeah.
Because you can't get to the top without the scaffolding. If you're at the bottom and you try and force them up.
Again, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. If you lift them in the middle, not too heavy. But that lever arm effect, it's a killer. And that's why it's so hard to go that high and get steps out of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how heavy they are.
Yeah.
It almost seems impossible.
Yeah. Well, we've come to the hour.
Oh, great.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Stick around to after the end. I'm going to play the outro, which you're a star of the outro this week. And let me see if I can figure it out.
Well, thanks for having me on, Jim. And
Thanks,
Jim,
Doug.
I love your sense of humor. You're a good man.
Thank you very much. You're one of the few that actually appreciate it. It was a pleasure meeting you. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Jim.
I love magic, and hats off for a world record holder. That's a great feather in your cap. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So stick around. Here we go with the outro, if I can figure this out.
And bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks. And don't forget to hit the like button.
thanks to everybody that stuck around to the end of the show of the hour before TNL, all 2,417 of you.